I do like me a good conspiracy, so let's hear this one out.
All right. So something happened to me in game recently, and it really has me thinking. What happened to me in game is that I finally got fed up buying bonds with in-game GP. I play old school and I play RuneScape 3.
Dude, buying bonds with in-game gold, the fuck? Just just swipe that credit card, honestly.
Two separate accounts. So every 2 weeks, I'm spending like 8 to 10 mil old school coins and like anywhere from 70 to like 90 mil RuneScape 3 gold every 2 weeks just to maintain my membership at this current moment. And one thing about me is I burn out a lot, meaning I would just stop playing for long periods of time. So I would
Yeah, I would imagine so if you're like grinding the game for membership. Like, yikes.
buy membership on both games. 10 mil gone, 80 mil, 10 mil old school gone, 80 mil RuneScape 3 gone. I'll play for like 2 days, come back in 2 weeks. All right, pay me 10 mil old school again, pay me 80 mil RuneScape 3 again just to play. And at this point, I'm like, I think I'm just gonna use real money at this point because losing that amount of money just consistently, it feels like it's just a really, really bad feeling. So this is when it got me thinking because I know there has to have been a lot of people who before old school bonds reached 8 mil were just buying membership with real money because they just don't want to lose any old school gold at all. My point is
Yeah, I mean, just pay a subscription fee. Like, it's not that expensive.
the more that bonds go up, I feel like there's going to be more people like me, people who are just fed up buying bonds with in-game gold that they just go ahead and buy bonds with real money. What I've been thinking is all of this done on purpose, especially during this past year? Is this all a grand scheme that we're playing into? So there's a couple of things I got to explain before I get into the grand scheme. And the first thing I got to explain is bots because bots do a couple of positive things for Jagex. What they do is they inflate play account. They
Yep,
make
that's so yeah, I am of the conspiracy that Jagex, they allow a certain amount of bots to be in the game to you know, there's currently this many players playing, Who likes to see this? Investors like to see these numbers. Investors, a bunch of like old people that like don't fucking know about the like nuances of the game.
they saturate moneymakers so that players are making less money while making players pay more money to play the game because bots are fueled by bonds. And the weird thing about bonds is that the bond supply is mainly people or only people who buy bonds to sell energy, buy bonds with real money to sell energy for in-game money, right? So that's a pool that bots and real players tap into. But now that bonds are 10 mil, the ratio from real player to bots buying bonds is going to be skewed, right? It's going to be more towards bots buying than real players. And we can even get to a situation where bond prices are so high that only bots are buying bonds in which real players are supplying because a real player has to spend real life money to generate a bond for a bot to buy. So if bonds get so high that only bots are buying, it'll be real players that are just fueling bots, right? But it's a Jagex monopoly this time, not a black market monopoly. Does that make sense? Not only this, but why?
Yeah, I mean, in both instances, whether it's third party or Jagex, selling the means to convert real life money into in-game gold. I mean, it's bad whether Jagex does it, and it's bad third party. Like, both instances detract from like the player experience.
Call this a grand scheme is because if you get players to stop buying bonds in game because they're so expensive, only bots buy them. Guess what? Players are going to switch to spending real life money to buy bonds because the amount of gold they can farm is not worth it.
I would Most people already do this anyway. Like, just swipe that credit card. Like, if you're sitting there grinding the game when you can just swipe a credit card, like the fuck are you doing?
Not only this, you incentivize real players to pay to win, right? If bond is like 20 mil, I can see a lot more people buying bonds, not for membership, but to
Well, regular accounts are pay to win.
sell it, right? With real money to sell for in game money. So that's why I say this is a grand scheme. And basically, the grand scheme in summary is Jagex, they're banning bots, but they're not banning all bots. And it's purposely done so that the situation I've just laid out can happen.
Oh yeah, they strategically ban the bots. Yeah, make no mistake.
Does that make sense? Not only this, it kind of gets deeper than this because if you think about it, RuneScape
Let's go. Let's go.
is the only game where you're paying subscription per character, not per account. What I mean by this, there's a lot of games where you can have an account and that account umbrellas multiple different characters. You can have like 10 characters in one account. However, you're only paying for the account. So I can have 10 characters, but I'm still paying $10 a month. With RuneScape, if this was RuneScape and I had an account with 10 characters, I'm paying $100 a month because I'm paying 10 per character. Does that make sense? I say this gets deeper because what happened recently, they made a survey where they want to add like 6, 5, 10, 50 bajillion more new game modes. That's
All right, let's see. More extreme version. I mean, this is fine. You know, if people want to sit and like continuously make new accounts, I mean, yeah, I mean, sure, who cares?
seems to be like Jagex's business strategy that is not MTX. So instead of giving us microtransactions, what they're going to do is spam us with different game modes, which you have to play a different character, which means an extra subscription. So they're going to incentivize as much as they can for us to buy multiple subscriptions while
I don't see any problem with this. They can come out with a million different game modes if people want to, you know, get create another account and pay a subscription and stuff for these like niche game modes. Then I mean, yeah, go for it.
having bots deter us from paying in-game money for membership because they're driving up bond prices too high. If you think about everything I just said, that sounds like the perfect business end game strategy. A game
I mean, it is a good strategy. So, and I mean that doesn't really detract from the player experience, So I don't see any issues with it.
where you've just made everyone now pay real money. A game where you have like 20
If it were up to me, there wouldn't even be a free game mode. Like, well, maybe that's a bit extreme. I wouldn't let players pay for subscriptions via bonds. Like, just pay for a membership.
different game
If it were up to me, the OSRS bond would not even be in the game. So
modes for people to try out where they have to pay an extra subscription per one. And ultimately, there's a conspiracy where people say Jagex is trying to sell the company. If this end game works out and they just drive up subscription because of the bots, yeah, I can see the game being sold. Right? If you think about what I just said, I would want to buy Jagex. What? That's money printer right there. Perfect business plan. Again, this is just conspiracy, 100% speculation. This is why I like having a lot of subscribers because that means there's a lot of smart people potentially watching this channel. I say potentially, right? And all of you are smart. I promise you. I see some of the comments y'all make. Some
I'm a fucking genius. Let's just get that out of the way.
of y'all stupid, some of y'all smart. But what I love about that is that if there's a major flaw in what I said, a smart person can just point up, now, like what you said, like it can make sense, but no, it won't work because of so and so or blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be interested to see what you guys got to say about this in the comment section. But I want to say that something definitely is going on, especially with the bots. It's just if Jagex wanted to ban bots, they can do it. We all remember 12 years ago, right, when we were all kids in goddamn school where Jagex banned all the bots. We all remember that, right?
Oh yeah.
They never
Oh
did that
yeah.
again, by the way. They're like, man, this was a horrible business. We'll never do that shit again, bro. What's wrong with you? You know? One thing people gotta understand is Jagex is a $500 million company. If they wanted to ban bots, they can do it. You legit just put an intrusive anti-cheat, all the bots are gone. But like I said, they
You could ban a lot of bots by just tracking mouse movement data. Now, of course, bots would probably move to mobile, which are taps are, one and done interactions with the game client. But it's actually pretty interesting. You can derive like a lot of demographics from just mouse movements. There was a paper that I read on it that was pretty interesting. I'll put it up on the screen. And so this is that paper that I was talking about. It's a pretty interesting read. So there's a part where they specifically talk about deriving demographics from the mouse movements. Let's see. Okay, yeah, and this here is kind of what I was talking about. User demographic information such as age, gender, may be inferred from mouse trajectories with reasonable accuracy. Very, very interesting research is being done within this domain. And if Jagex client were to, send this kind of information, they could detect bots a lot more easily. So this whole paper, it talked about the trajectory that the mouse goes from going from point A to point B. If you could just go like straight there at like a constant acceleration, that's not very human like, If we go from point A to point B, we typically start off fast and then we kind of slow down as we get to our destination. There's lots of little like things like that that could be indicators of bots. Also, whenever we go from point A to point B, we oftentimes overshoot our our destination. So then we kind of do this like backtracking kind of like mouse movement. So there's there's a lot of work that could be done into detecting bots is what I'm kind of getting at. So anyway, not to go too much on a side tangent.
Seem like they don't want all the bots to go. And why? Maybe because of some of what I said. $500 million company, bro. You can have the whole of the NASA staff working for anti-cheat. Are you crazy? You can resurrect what's his name? Albert Einstein to crack these bots with $500 million. Are you what? They come on, bro. There's a reason why they don't buy another bots.
That's pretty funny. So I would actually say the conspiracy goes even further. They they make the drop rates for items in games so low, and since the game does not have any anti-dry mechanics, uh, the low drop rates like demoralize people to the point to where they'll just spend real money for bonds to buy the item instead of playing the game for the item. So if we want to go full conspiratorial, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe.